What's up, everybody? What's happening? Hope everybody's doing well. Let me just say some things real quick outside of my normal salutations. This has not come up yet. I just want to put it out there for those of you that follow me, or for those of you who this is your first time clicking on my video. This is not an alpha male high powered channel. This is not a beta male high powered channel. This is not a channel. If you come here and you angry with women and you think you found somebody that's going to teach you how to bash women, find that channel. If you think you're going to come here and find out how to be a sucker to women because you can't speak up for yourself, it ain't that kind of channel. If you think you're going to come here and hear how women got to bow down and crawl to you to prove that they love you and their worth and all this and that, this ain't that kind of channel. Now, I'm not going to tell you that she can't crawl because some of y'all into that kind of that crawl at, okay. There are people that like to role play like they dogs and panthers and cats and they meow around the house. I ain't talking about that. If y'all have advanced that far, y'all do what y'all do. I ain't talking about that. So yeah, if she into that, she need to crawl, brother. She need to crawl to you. Don't take no mess off of her now. But y'all know what I'm talking about. If y'all ain't in that zone, this ain't a channel where I'm talking about women got to bend over back and do crazy stuff. This ain't kind of channel. This is a channel where Professor X gives his perspective. It's as authentic, truthful, and raw as my personality would give it. That's why you would be here. All right. With that being said, let's jump on what's on my mind. I was thinking about a statement that we generally make to ourselves, or maybe even telling other people in life when something may not go our way or when life turns sour for us. Let's say we had a great job, made lots of money for 15 years. You lose your job, you end up on the streets, you end up homeless. You may lose your car, lose your wife, lose your family, get hooked on substance, whatever. Become extremely promiscuous, maybe get I don't know if I can use that word, maybe contract some symptoms that you got from somebody else because you didn't use the correct protocol. Y'all understand what I'm saying? May have a little pus here, a little, little bleeding, little pus, little cottage cheese back from the 80s and the 90s stuff they used to show in science class. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A little cottage cheese coming out of certain areas of your body. And you may say to yourself, how did I end up like this? If you had a good job, made good money, lost it, end up homeless. How did I end up like this? If you had a good relationship with your children, they got older, something happened. Your kids won't even come visit you during the holidays, won't call, won't do nothing. You could say, how did I end up like this? Maybe you got 3 or 4 kids, 3 or 4 different men. How did I end up like this? 3 or 4 kids, one man, he's gone in the wind. How did I end up like this? Maybe you have allowed yourself to become an alcoholic, dirty, a hoarder, living in filth, stressed, depressed. All you want to do is eat ice cream, potato chip. And you say, how did I end up like this? When I first started in the trash business, the route that I had was in the hood of the area that I live in. I actually requested it because no matter where I think I am in life, I always try to stay grounded to people who may not be where I am, but at the same time, I recognize they're still a human being and that they have a story. So I always try to, and no matter what route, even now, no matter what routes I have, at least one of those routes, one day a week will be in the hood. Why I'm still able to connect with people that may not be at the same level as me, but I understand they're still human beings. And while we would be dumping trash back in the old days when you had two men in the back dumping trash, the streetwalkers will walk by. And some of the streetwalkers would say to me, you a nice looking trash man. Most trash men don't look like you. Wah, 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 whatever. And so I would say, I tell you what, I'll give you $10. I don't want nobody though. I'll give you $10 for you to tell me your story. How did you end up like this? And they would go to tell me. I was a nurse. I was in nursing school. I went to a party. I let 5 guys have me. It broke me down. I left nursing school. I couldn't get another job. I had my self-esteem was broken. I knew I was cute. I went to the streets. Been here, out here, 10 years, wilding out for money. I called her a friend of mine. She was in a different town. She asked me for 20. I said, I ain't gonna give you 20 because, I ain't gonna give you just $20. I'll give you $10. I need to know your story though. And she told me, she said, believe it or not, I was nice looking years ago. I said, what happened? Now, while we having a conversation, I got out the truck. I'm talking to her face. I'm standing right next to her. It was in the middle of summer. She talking to me. The little gnats that be flying around. The gnats is going in and out of her eyes. She ain't even blinking. That's just how loaded up she was. She said she used to be attractive and got with the wrong dude who started smacking her around. And actually, she had 2 children that she ain't seen in years because she followed that dude to the town we was in, who he ended up leaving, and then that broke her down so much that she turned to the streets. And at the time we was talking, she was actually on her way to the clinic because the dude she was dealing with at the time we was having this conversation, she felt like had given her something and she needed to go and get it and see if she could get it taken care of. And about a year after that, I was in the town and I had asked about her because I hadn't seen her in a while. And I heard that she had stepped in front of a because there's a highway that run right through the center and 18-wheelers just flying back and forth. And she had stepped down in front of a log truck. I believe she did it on purpose, but I didn't ask nobody. I just think she was ready to get out of here. She told me they called her on the streets Big Booty Judy. What's her street name? How did she end up like that? And then it dawned on me, because it don't have to be negative. We just sometimes use it as negative when we end up in a situation or a position that we don't want to be in, and then we act like life just happened to us and put us in a bad spot. But it dawned on me, wherever we are in life, and this, I want y'all to share this with someone that may be going through. Wherever we are in life, whether it's good or bad, positive or negative, we didn't just end up there. Our life consists of a series of choices that we made to get us to where we are today. Life don't just happen. Things unforeseen happen that may catch us off guard. but it's still a reflection of decisions and choices that we have made that will cause us finally to end up at a destination that maybe we may or may not want to be there. How do you end up a junkie on the street? At some point, you said, I'm going to smoke just this joint. At some point, you made a decision to continue to hang around that crowd. At some point, you never stepped away from that atmosphere. At some point, you added on to the joint. It became stronger and stronger. How did I end up to be an alcoholic? At some point, I made a decision to sip wine cooler, then elevate it, then elevate it. Then I'm at the 40s. Then I'm at, that's back in the day, in the night of Mad Dog, St. Ives. It's a series of choices that we make that cause us to end up where we end up. If you're successful, now that you have to go to school, because now you can go to school, get degrees, and still be unsuccessful. But on paper, if you're successful, and we look back at the choices that you made A's and B's in middle school. You made A's and B's in high school. You got a scholarship. You went and got a 4-year degree. You went into business. You was able to make a little money. Maybe the business folded and shut down. Maybe it didn't last. But you made wise investments so that when the business went away or you lost your job, you was able to thrive for 2 years off of the investments that you had made, living off the interest. You see what I'm saying? Decisions, choices. One person, you have 2 people working at the same job. One person is only thinking for the here and now. And I've been guilty. I'm still guilty of that to a degree. And you're not necessarily thinking of what's to come. Another person at the same time is not thinking of the right now. They're only thinking of what's to come. So they're saving, investing, utilizing their assets and their monies and their priorities for what could possibly be, and if nothing comes, so that they can have a better future. The other person is just spending. The company shut down, both of them is on the street, so to speak. No income coming in. And the one who did not save anything can look at himself and say, life is so awful. How did I get here? And in your anger, you blame the company. The company went overseas. They went over for cheap labor. They left me with nothing. What am I supposed to do? And the other one says, I've been saving for this rainy day. So although I'm not happy with the decision the company made, I don't have to rush and get something that I don't really want to take. I can chill for a year and take vacation and then regroup and find out what I want to do. Because after all, I can still lean back on my degree or add to it and go further. So that's all I want to say. We don't just end up where we end up because life dumped a bunch of boo-boo on our head. There are times that there will be a boulder or something that hit you and catch you so off guard that it may try to flatten you out. Those are few far between. Most of the stuff that we go through, most of the places that we find ourselves come from decisions and choices. Even if you want to talk marriage, even if you want to talk relationship, we probably saw red flag, ignored it. That was a decision. Our kids acting up, we probably seen there was something in them that we should have corrected. We ignored it. We made a decision. The job we took, we had an opportunity to take this job or that job. Maybe at the time we went for more money with less hours. Maybe you went for more hours, less money. It's a decision. So that's all I wanted to say. We don't just end up where we end up on just happen chance. We end up where we are because we made one decision and then another decision and then another decision and then another decision. And you do that for 20 or 30 years. And then wherever you are, good or bad, it is the result of hundreds or thousands of decisions that we made previous to that point. Got it? Good.